Hey y'all, happy Saturday. It's the 27th of December and the tripod is over there on the floor and I don't feel like getting it. And yeah, interesting day. Um Buddy from work who's been helping me with the bathroom, he came over and we were just sitting here trying to cuz we got a friend at work who was supposed to work today. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll be done at around like 9:30, 10 o'clock." Right? Well, 9:30, 10 o'clock comes around. Dude doesn't, my friend doesn't come over here until like 8:30. And we're sitting there, and I was like, "Have you talked to him?" He's like, "Yeah, I called him, but he ain't called me back." And I'm like, "Well, try him again and see what he wants to do." Well, when he does finally get back to him, it's like 10:30 in the morning, and he sends us pictures of some straight up fuck ass fuckery going on at work. And so my buddy is like, "I'm curious." And I was like, "You want to drive out there?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm asking him for the address to the job site, right? So we go flying by the job site. It was like literally, if we had been looking around, we would have seen it, right? It jacked up, fucked up mess. Yes, it was. Anyway, so our buddy that was, he's a manager. Um, he was overseeing this whole thing, and he's really pissed off at the batch guy that is the facilitator of the one plant where all of this stuff was coming out of. He sends us a picture, and I'm like, "Oh, that's Joey." And he was like, "They need to get better drivers." Like, no, Joey's been driving for 20 fucking years. Yeah. He's like, "No, really." I said, "Really?" I said, "Now, Joe, if he is told by the contractor, go ahead, get in there, we're gonna get you out, he'll fucking do it." But lately, because of a lot of the issues that we have with some of these jobs, right? Here's where when management starts to be too controlling, your drivers stop thinking for themselves. This is a perfect example. So, this dude who's been driving a mixer since before I got hired. He was already there when I got hired. Um he gets up on this job. Now they were doing short loads. They weren't even doing 10-yard loads. This was a fucking mud box. It was bad. Bad. I'm like, I wouldn't have gone up. He's like, "You would have given him hell." I said, "I would have probably got fired." Because I would have given him hell. Because the contractor did not think it through. He's like, "No shit." I said, "Yeah." So it's kind of a good thing I wasn't there. But at the same time, if I had been scheduled, I probably would have been sent up there empty with chains to recover them. Because what had happened was he got slid like mayonnaise on a tomato down a fucking hillside with thick ass. I mean, this whole field needed to be root packed. It needed to be like bushwhacked. They had root pack. It was just mush. And he slid into a fence. Mm-hmm. And in order to get him off of it, because of where they told him to come in at, they had to unload him with a bobcat. And even then, they had to get the loader up there. Dude had to drive the loader from the plant. It was not far from the plant. I mean, it was like right around the corner, right? He had to drive the loader down to the job to pull this guy out off of the fence to get him in a direction to where he could maneuver and not hit the fence any worse than he already. I mean, literally, the fence was holding him from sliding down the fucking hill any further. that kind of arrangement. Oh yeah, I've got pictures. Anywho, so the dude sent us the pictures, and I was like, oh. He's like, what? I said, that's Joey. I was like, I have literally, Joey was told to drive up into a scenario that he knew he was going to get stuck. And the finisher said, I'm going to pull you out with the digger. If you get stuck, I got the digger. I'm going to pull you out. I pull up on the yard on this job, and literally the digger, he's trying to pull him out, and the digger is sliding on the mud up toward the mixer. He can't get this mixer out of the mud. He's starting to feel like a dumbass. So I jump out, and I was like, I'm going to get as close as I can. We're going to hook those chains to me. I'm on the asphalt. I'll yank his ass out of there. I yanked his ass out before he even released the fucking brake. It was so slimy, I was literally pulling another mixer across the span of asphalt with his brakes locked. Yeah, these are scenarios. And that made, he got out of that truck, he's like, bitch, you crazy. And I was like, you're out of it? He's like, that was wild. I hadn't even hit the brake to release it. No need. It's too slimy. You gonna slide on anything right now. Not to mention you're half unloaded. So you're kind of light. Anyway. So my buddy's curiosity. He's like, I want to know. I want to know where this job is. I said it's up north. We're gonna go by buddies, and we're going to and I'll show you where that plant is. So if you ever have to come up here for any reason, you know how to get here. He's like, yeah, fair enough. So we went out on the bikes. We went on a ride. So we went north, and we actually, as we were coming out, we were about ready to turn, and our buddy passed us, and dude whipped it, and I stalled. Anyway, got it started, and I turned out, and I got behind him, and I was like, however you guys want to do it, I'm going this way, I'm going to catch the light, and I'll meet you down there. I'll pull off, you know me. Anyway, so they flipped a UE. I went around. I caught him, he flashed me, and I caught in, and then I got behind the pickup truck of the manager, and we went down to this job site, which was like quite literally like a half a mile down the road. And I looked up, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is the worst day of any week to try to do that type of arrangement. I said, who authorized this job? I said, it doesn't even fucking matter. I said, because a lot of times they don't even look at what it is that we're doing. Right? They're not coming out here and assessing the job site. It is up to us as a driver to get out of the truck and walk that shit and be like, nope, you gonna sign the ticket. Yeah. Our buddy, who's a manager, he's like kind of like the voice of reason. He got out there. One of the drivers had been out there about 3 hours with hot water and 2% accelerator on his load. And it was turning into a hot mess. And he was like, you either can go pay for a pump, or you're going to pay for that mix, and we're going to go waste it. It ain't coming off that truck. You'll never be able to finish it. Once it hits the ground, it is going to be a boulder. Yeah. You can go pay for a pump, and you're going to need 2 of them. One to pump one into the next pump, and you're not going to be able to get a pump up here. Or call somebody who knows what the hell they're doing and get Georgia buggies up here, and you're going to need about 4 of them for the span of time frame. And if they had just done the Georgia buggy route and done 4 Georgia buggies up the hill, they probably would have gotten done in the same amount of time with a hell of a lot less mess. That is the honest to God truth. I mean, I can't make any complaint. They don't think. Contractors don't think. This is some of the things that we run into. You got these superhero contractors. They think that, oh yeah, it'll work. Yeah, in the summer, yeah, it probably would have been fine when it was dry. But now that it's winter, we got permafrost. When it gets wet, it stays wet until summer. It's that mad. Anyway, so him and I, we jumped on the bikes. We ran out to that job, like out to that area. I showed him where that plant was because he had never been there. And we met our buddy on the way out. We were getting ready to head back. And like, I don't know. The plant's closed, so I don't know what's going on. They got to roll. I said, I know he's babysitting that one up north that's near my mama's. And, yeah, I got a feeling if they close up this one down here, he's going to be heading up there to finish everybody up. And I was right. But anyway, the last truck had concrete on, and he was heading north. And the batch manager stopped for a little bit because it's going to take him a minute to get up there. He's got to get water on him. He's got to get discharged out. And he's got to get up there to put water on him to wash them out and all this other, and then drain the plant because it's supposed to be freezing on Monday. So he stopped with us. He brought us down there, and me and a buddy of mine were like, oh my God. Holy hellfire. This is a hot fucking mess. I was disgusted. Because they had a clear fucking path from the driveway. Yeah. From the fucking driveway. And the driveway wasn't but 20 yards of concrete. Now, you gotta take the losses with the gains. Now, they put that job, it was like 30 yards or some shit, and they were doing everybody in 6-yard loads. It got so fucked up that they ended up having to send 8 trucks up there. 8 loads went up there, and they were short loads. They weren't even full 10s. And the one guy, he was only 6 yards loaded. He had 6 yards on, and he got stuck. Sliding down the hill like a fucking mayonnaise on a tomato. This is the crap that we deal with. This is the shit that we, like, when I lose my temper with a contractor, most of the time it's because they are not thinking the entire scenario through. I'm not losing my temper because I don't like my job. I'm losing my temper because they've got tomfoolery, fuck-ass fuckery going on. And they damn well know it. And they are pushing the limit to test the laws of physics to see what all this company is going to tolerate as far as what they're going to, put at risk. Now, there's other companies, there's competitors out there, like, we will roll through footing ditches to get into the middle to pour the backsides if we don't have enough perimeter on the outsides. There's a competitor out there that will not do that. We're not breaking our trucks. We don't care what they're capable of. And they don't allow them to roll through ditches. I roll through ditches. Now I got fucking Rob Zombie in my head. Roll through the ditches. Yeah. Yeah. Dragula. Anyway, so yeah, we've got companies that won't do that. We got other companies that they only haul 8-yard loads in this area. We've got we've got a company around here that actually, if it's a really weird, funky arrangement, they literally mix on site. Mm-hmm. And they've got those truck contraptions where it's small shit. They can do like a 3-yard batch, mix it on site, and they'll do it into a wheelbarrow or however you need it. That kind of thing. The mix isn't compromised in route. It's done right there on site. Whatever you want. They just, and truck does the rest. Kind of thing. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to do concrete, but this one, today's job, that was contractor error. They should have just gotten 4 Georgia buggies. They could have rented them for the day. And with all of the trauma that they had put the mixers through, now our mixers are close to $500,000 a piece. The damages that these trucks endure from doing that kind of crap, compromising, brake lines getting busted, leaf springs getting busted, hubs getting spent. I've had hub seals break. What other crazy stuff? Flat tires. You name it. Yeah, that's irresponsible to from the contractor. So, the plant manager of that plant, not the guy who showed us what was going on today. Yeah, that's on him. I don't know who the sales guy who was in charge of it, but they should have said, nope, you're not putting trucks up there. You're going to need to do a Georgia buggy. Period. Or get a pump. Pick one. But there's no pump big enough to reach where you want it to reach. So, you got no choice. You bobcat it or you Georgia buggy it. Line pump it. They could have line pumped it. That would have worked too. The existing driveway is only about 25 yards. They wanted that barn building built so bad, 30, almost 40 yards worth of concrete. They could have sacrificed a crack or two, done it later. Concrete always cracks. It doesn't matter what it is. Eventually, it's going to crack. Unless it's designed by the Romans, it's not going to self-heal either. So, that was my Saturday. Yeah. He come over. I made breakfast. We thought about what are we going to do. Dude wants to ride. All right. Well, let's go see what's fucking hanging him up. I'm so glad I was off today. Yeah, him and I are on the same schedule. Thank God I am off today. Anyway, he just left a little bit ago. He's on his way home. And, yeah, he'll be over here in the morning. But I'm going to have one more beer. Yeah, we had a blast today. Great ride. Great time. And we're about to do more tomorrow. God, we're probably going to hit back roads tomorrow. So, I don't know. I think we want to go out toward Cookville. That's our goal. We're going to, hit up Dale Hollow and the Cookville area. That's our goal. So, anyway, y'all, yeah. Bathroom's coming along. I'm not going to do pictures. We haven't really done anything. I'm taking a break. I'm waiting for my barn door to come in. It's a shelving kit. Barn door shelf type of thing. Once that gets in, then I'm going to have to clean the kitchen, get all my tools out to the garage because I'm going to need major square footage to build these. So, yeah, we've got it half cleaned and kind of organized and almost set up. And then we got a few more little projects out there that we have to do. I got the dumpster. It's almost full. When I see him, I'll cut him a check and he can come haul it off. He said I was probably going to have it a little more than 10 days, only because of the holiday schedule. He's like, so, yeah, fill it up as you need to, as long as it's there. I said, but yeah, in 10 days or whenever the fuck you pull it off of here, you know. I said, $360? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I got you. But, yeah, because of the holiday schedule, I'm probably going to have it by convenience extra. So, he's like, yeah, we need to get out here and start raking some of this stuff up. And that way he can take your lawn trash out of here, too. I was like, yeah, but our buddy wants to go riding, so you got to prioritize. You want to clean the yard, or do you want to go riding? He's like, yeah, we'll fuck that chicken later. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought you'd say. That's what I say. Anyway, y'all, have a great evening. Have a great weekend. Yes, I know. I'm healing. I'm getting there. Yeah. It's all good in the hood. God, bikes are running great, though. Peace.